Thank you. I want to get right to it because all of these people are just amazing. And actually, because I know that some people get extremely intimidated when it comes to talking about finance, I would actually love to begin with you today because you began with a humanities background and you have become a rock star in terms of what social responsible investing is. So please introduce yourself and go straight into your story of how you came into finance.
On? Yeah? Okay, yeah, sure. Okay, so I'm originally from Barcelona, Spain. I studied language and literature at university. I made that choice back in the days because I was passionate about it and because when you're 18, you do not think what is going to fill your fridge, right, later on in life. But when I finished my studies, I was hired as a receptionist and PA in a company. And that company was an investment bank. So when I joined the investment bank, because I'm very passionate, because as Barbara was mentioning yesterday that her dad was telling her, be passionate whatever you do. My dad was telling me the same all the time. Whatever you do in life, Gloria, be passionate. So because I'm very passionate and I'm very curious, soon after joining the investment bank, I realized that I should stop reading the British poets and the British playwrights and start reading about finance. And this is what I did. I stopped reading Shakespeare and I started reading on finance. And that's what I did for 3 years. I did some postgraduate courses, but that was not the important part. And in 3 years' time, as I was a relevant member in the M&A department dealing with publicly quoted companies, the equity stock exchange and all that, I then jumped into the real world working for those companies as investor relations. 7 years ago, my partner and I decided to get out of the comfort zone, and this is very important. We got out of the comfort zone, we moved to England where no one knew us. We were very comfortably living in Barcelona where we had the space, good connections, good network. We came here, totally unknown. We set up our family office to invest in long-term impact investments, right? Last December, we were ranked number 20, like within the 20 family offices in London. Not because of our money, I can assure you, but I've got the feeling that because of what we do and our approach to our investments. And then soon after that, I decided to set up my own company, and I set up a real estate investment company in Spain to invest only in middle-income housing for the middle-income population in Spain. After the financial crisis in 2010, Spain is under a huge housing crisis that I can tell you about any other day. But I'm investing in that. I've been onboarding other family offices, other investors that are very much aligned with our vision of the world. Even 3 years ago, I was lucky enough to onboard the 2 largest pension plans in Spain. And for those of you who are not familiar with these, pension plans are the dream investors. They're super stable, long-term view. They are the architects and the lawyers' pension plan in this case. And we're so much in line with our views, and it's a dream come true, you know, working with them. We've become friends. We've gone on holidays together, I mean, because we're so much aligned. And when I look back, it's like, oh my God, how the hell did I reach this point in life, you know? And because of passion, because of getting out of the comfort zone, and we always say behind a great man, there's always a great woman. I always say behind a great woman, sometimes there's a great man. In my case, there's one. I'm lucky enough to have a great man not only behind of me or in front of me, but next to me. And so together we make a great team, and we're having so much fun, like putting our small drop into this ocean. So happy to be here with you.
Thank you, that's amazing. Janet, I saw a lot of nodding coming from you. I'd love for you to share what your thoughts are.
Thank you so much. Can you hear me? Hey everyone, I'm so honored to be here. Mirella, thank you so much again for inviting me. This is my first Global Women's Summit, and it's so, I think, memorable for me because this is a 10th year anniversary. So yeah, anyway, Janet Salazar, I'm from New York, born and bred in the Philippines. My mom is my #1 idol. She raised me and my brother when I was just 5 when my father died. And what she did was took us back to her province in the northern part of the Philippines where she had 8 other siblings, all in business, catering, restaurants, you know, and that's kind of like how I became who I am right now. I was raised literally by a village. My dad died, but I didn't lack for anything because I had 7 uncles who were there for my mom and for me and my brother. So make the story short, I was 9 years old when I was literally put into child labor, quote unquote. Meaning, you know, I started helping with the family business, and that's how it all started, you know, my trajectory. And fast forward, right now my energy, my fascination, and my passion is focused on 3 things. Number 1, investing, specifically on women's healthcare and longevity, because women, if we want to change the world, we have to live longer, happier, and healthier. And so I am committed to investing into women's healthcare and longevity, and we've already lined up quite a few deal flows and projects in the pipeline, also investors. We're soft-launching our venture capital in August, and hard launching in September. And so if you have healthcare and longevity projects that you want to take to the next level and you need funding, come to me after. We can talk. So that's that. My second passion is leadership. I want to change the world. I've always been into the leadership space, whether that is in the private sector and business, which is my world, or the philanthropic space, which is also an engine for me that I participate a lot actively through my foundation, which is the Foundation for the Support of the United Nations. I'm the chairman, and I inherited that. Not a lot of credit for me, but I'm happy to take it forward. It's a legacy foundation. And also because of this leadership passion, I am one of the alumna of the prestigious Rockefeller Foundation Bellagio residency program. So think about Maya Angelou and Ruth Bader Ginsburg and all these amazing luminaries who have come before us and have paved the way for women in leadership, and of course leadership in general, to be part of this really impactful program by the Rockefeller Foundation. I encourage you to apply. You know, they do it every year. Just go to their website, and it is an amazing experience. You get to be in Bellagio for a month to work on your project. And in that connection, the leadership project that I'm working with the Rockefeller Foundation is the book called Alpha Whisperers. You can go to my LinkedIn and search that, alphawhisperer.com. It's power behind the power. Because I believe so much that yes, we're all alphas. You see us, we're CEOs and movers and shakers. But what a lot of us do not know is that behind, Gloria, behind every alpha is a whisperer. These are your coaches, your advisors, your consultants. You know, these are the ones that are helping you make that decision from behind the scene. And that is the purpose of my book and my leadership.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Yeah. Oscar, I would like to start getting very specifically, because I know we have limited time, into some social responsible investment that really moved you and made you realize that this is the direction you wanted to take your career. And I would even say interpret your career toward. Because a lot of people, as I said earlier, like with the hammer thing, you can kill someone with it or build something with it. What made you decide you wanted to be a force for good, essentially, while making a profit and discovering that that is possible? Oscar?
Yes, I think a lot of investment, impact investment. I'm the Middle East Director for Global Economic Sustainable Development Commission, that I recently joined. And my background has been actually in tech, curating the programs for the world's largest tech exhibition, with the startup show that they have with a lot of pitches. But going straight to your question here, I think a lot of impact investment is very small scale, and especially when it comes to larger funds and funneling the money and the resources that's required for smaller operations, effectively microfinancing. It is about sourcing the opportunities and vetting them and getting them straight to the entrepreneurs that need these resources. Oftentimes it's not complicated. It's whether it's buying seeds or tools for agriculture or getting the batteries for solar power. And I think there's just so much enormous potential there. And there's getting efficiency in that flow is very critical for the investments to become credible and not just a form of charity where, you know, there's a lot of challenges, I believe, in that with any NGO, with any operation that is seen as charitable, there's a lot of loss in that process oftentimes.
Yes, thank you. A lot of people don't realize that in business, the Victor Lobo ethics is often opposite of morality. So if you can embrace the B Corp idea, which gives people implanted equal say to shareholders, you can make a real difference in how you incorporate. I would love to come over to you because I know that Marilla has said that you are doing some phenomenal work in the SRI direction. Can you share?
So first of all, the main areas that I'm focused on is private equity and private wealth, and working with more deeper impact. So I love the conversation actually about the impact investing. It is a very big conversation globally. And just to understand how money moves, right? You had that conversation, follow the money. There's a reason why that conversation exists. And knowing that you are an investor or following investors, it's not enough. You really have to understand that there's a deeper web there, and there's a deeper conversation that most of us don't have access to. So it's really knowing how to gain access in there, and then also being able to structure yourself properly, whether it's focusing on creating the impact in the world or investing in ground-up development projects, which I'm very versed in, or just even bringing different kind of unique deals to private sourcing and private money. You really need to be prepared on your due diligence process, setting up the right team, setting up the right board of directors, making sure that you have the right knowledge behind you and the right experience that's going to help you bring forward and prepare you to gain access into the capital market. And it's not enough just to gain access into the capital market. I'm sure you know that very well. It's also, where is the money coming from? And what's the conversation? Because there's a lot of deals that are available out there, and there's a lot of capital that's available out there. And yes, it could be easy, and yes, it could be difficult, but most importantly is to know who it is that you're gonna work with and what doors those conversations are gonna open for you, because it's a very deep private web that unless you're in finance and you're in those rooms and you're part of those conversations, you don't have access to it.
I love that you said that, because to me, a lot of times when people are going out for investment, they're looking for money, you know, any direction they can get it. And I like to say it's like a marriage. Do you want to be married to this person in your life in the very intimate way that dictates how you're going to make your decisions or not?
It's not just that, right? Let's adjust. Perfect. Marriage. Nobody gets married in one day. You're dating, you're understanding each other, you're going through different challenges, you're pushing the buttons, you're pushing the boundaries, you're watching the character of the person. So when investing in those relationships, you have to really understand that funding doesn't happen so quickly, right? You went into the sovereign wealth. That, I'm sure, took a long time of long, deep relationship building, right? To learn about you, learn about them. So really understand that it's a long process, and that process requires a lot of trust and relationship building. So unless you've put that focus into that trust and relationship building, you have to be able to work with people that have that kind of trust that they've built and connect through the finance world through those individuals to begin with.
Absolutely. And I'm glad we're going in this direction because I'm really wanted to hone in on what are people looking for, because a lot of SRIs are actually looking to help women with their businesses, and a lot of women don't know how to even feel like they are qualified for that. And I find as somebody that's an investor, a lot of times people have come to me and say, will you put money in on this? And they want to go in with a few million, and sometimes I'll say, can we start off with a business that's like 250,000? And what I'm actually saying is, let me see how we work together for a while. Let me see if I can trust you. And people don't understand those incremental steps. I would love to invite you all to, for this to be conversational. So if any of you have something that you want to bring in on this, please speak up. I don't want to just call on you because I think it's more dynamic that way. So my question I'm going to throw out to all of you. When you're looking at something and say, obviously you care about women or you wouldn't be here. When you're looking at a potential female business and say you had a few million to help women businesses, what are the top 3 things you'd be looking for?
I'll go first. Well, number one, it really has to resonate and align with also the goals of, of not only the fund that we're going to use to invest into, but also overall the purpose of our group, basically. So like for me, I'm a sponsor GP with 2 other amazing men. I call my brothers, Mike and Leo, who are my co-GPs. So we are all in alignment in terms of, okay, the kind of commitment that a particular founder has into the company that he's asking us to invest into, right? So all that has to be in alignment. We have to, number 2, we have to really be able to understand what the long-term goal is for this. Is, do you just want a quick in and out, or do you have a further goal, further down the line that could really impact generations? So are you creating something that's not a one-night stand, right? But instead, it's a longer plan to really impact and change the world for good. So in this case, for women's healthcare as an example, right? We're investing heavily into that. We're looking for solutions, whether that's AI-driven or tech-driven or traditional medicine from Asia, that are really going to solve women's reproductive issues. Because right now, that's the number one issue that women are facing, postmenopausal, perimenopausal. There's a lot of documented issues around that, and not a lot of investments are being poured into it. I mean, now we have a kind of like a big a light at the end of the tunnel, so to speak, because the majority of the wealth transfer that's going to be happening in the next 5-10 years is going to be women. Lots and lots of money there. So if we focus and align our goals into that, everything that benefits women's healthcare, I think it makes a lot of sense also to attract investors, women investors that are going to put their money into this, right? Because it's something personal. And the third one definitely is we have to be able to really work together. Yeah, it's key, right? It doesn't have anything to do with money at the end of the day, actually. It's when you are together, you can have fun together and talk business at the same time. You can be yourselves and, and strategize for millions and billions of money. It doesn't matter. What's the most important thing is you gel, you align, you can have fun together, you understand each other. Because when you invest into a company and you work with a founder and the team, you become a family. There's like all the inhibitions are down. You have to be able, so for me personally, I have to be able to know you. Like you cannot, you can't wear a mask in front of me. You just can't, because I have a way of finding out that, you're not really committed with your goal that you're asking me for investment for.
Thank you, Janet. Yeah. Before we go, and I want to make sure that we give some people some things that are inspiring, because there's so many challenges in the world right now, and the majority of the private funds in the world, the majority of the funds in the world are in private hands. They're not in countries' hands or in nonprofits' hands. They're in private hands, individuals or corporations. And to tackle things, you have to find a way to move that money into being part of the solution. And Gloria, I wanted to ask you to highlight what you're doing in Brazil with with Amazon and creating biofuel. I think that is one of the most exciting things out there.
Yeah, that comes together with the idea that being impactful is not an alternative, it's not a choice, it's the only way. But truly speaking, I mean, if we think that we want a long-term business, a business that survives for 15, 20 years, being impactful is a key piece there. You won't be able to onboard employees that will be committed to the project, excited about the project, if it doesn't bring a purpose. You won't be able to onboard investors if you do not bring a purpose, if you do not put a purpose in your project. So this is a must. And purpose investment is always profitable in the long run. If you want to make a quick in and out with money, you can make very big money, you know? If you want to do yeah, but on the long run, if you really want to manage and create a business on the long run, it has to be impactful. Brazil, it's one of our verticals. We're investing in sustainable aviation fuel, so biofuel for aviation, because aviation will be the last transportation that will be able to be electrified. So we're doing that based on biomass that we're sourcing from places like Amazon, the Amazonas and Brazil, so that the business is only, the project is not only impactful from the point of view of the environment, but transforming communities and countries.
I think that's incredible. To me, that's the future right there, and helping to regrow the Amazon rainforest while making a profit.
That, by the
Oscar.
way, is a U.S. company, other company. We're doing that through them. We chair that company. I'm happy to discuss more.
Thank you. So you were about to say something?
I just wanted to make sure to also reiterate, we were talking about the topic of, women and how do you get funded. So some of the really important things you want to make sure to address, first of all, and especially what I would look at, is what is the track record behind you, right? What have you done so far? Because capital will always look at that first. What is your character? What is the track record? What is the team behind you? What have you done? How often have you done it? What is your exit? How successful has it been? If you don't have that, you definitely want to make sure you partner with the track record to start out with, because capital will not come in. If you want serious capital, that is the only way to go about it. You also want to make sure to address your capital stack. How are you structured in regards to how much debt are you taking on your project? How much of your own money are you putting into it? Which, by the way, make sure you put enough, typically at least 10 to 20%, because especially for the beginning, capital always wants to see skin in the game. That's what we call it. And another layer is also who are your investors, those additional shareholders that are coming in. So if you want to start out with bringing more serious capital, you want to bring at least one or two more serious investors, because money likes to invest where other money invests as well. So you want to make sure to bring those good, solid investors to begin with, and then you can build on that. So you can start with institutional, and then you can go to the more retail size, typically million and below.
Thank you so much. As someone that really is on the hump between Gen X and Gen Y, I can literally tell you that every time one of our generation gets something that comes across our desk, if we look at people, planet, profit, and if you're trying to make the decision between which thing you're going to invest in, and they haven't taken that into account, every single time they will not be the ones we invest in. So if people are wanting the money for younger generations, you have to take that into account. Oscar, before you leave, is there anything you'd like to add?
Well, some general comments. I think for all the talk about storytelling and investing in the person, I think generally sometimes too much focus is placed on that what everyone has been alluding to, it's the action that counts. Theory and practice do not always align, and to be able to see that there is viability in an investment, at least have it in a small scale to see that the market reacts to what it is that you are selling. And whether that is impact investing or in technology, I see a lot of entrepreneurs really just working on their pitch decks, and they've never seen if it has any response in the market, if it's what they really need. And I think as an investor that this is really what resonates when you can see that even if it's on an MVP level, that it has viability.
Wonderful. All of us have agreed to be some of the panelists that look at the pitches later. So please keep in mind what they've all highlighted when you make your pitches. Thank you all for your time today. And I think that it is so inspiring to know that there are people like each of you doing this in the world, because they may be at the top of their game, but everyone began exactly where you are. So thank you. Thank you.